All right. Hey, everyone. Josh Jordan here, obviously, and I've got Chris Jones in Durham, North Carolina. Chris has completed the program for the most part. He actually got hired before that. But, Chris, I'm going to let you just take it off and tell people, though, a little bit about your sales background prior to coming into pre-hired.
Sure. So after college and through college, I was working in retail sporting goods, and I kind of worked my way up the ladder and became an equity owner in that company. Um, and then just kind of burned out on retail in general and wanted to do something bigger and better and make a larger income, among other things. So I walked away from that on my own terms last year. Started chasing my dream of being a personal trainer, which is very rewarding, but again, not a super high income unless you're going to build a gym or some platform of that sort. And I was also doing some outside sales in the medical industry. Again, kind of a part-time commission only gig, which sort of, drove me, what else is out there? What do I want to do? And I've always known I want to do something big. We've all got to do something for money. And I just said, okay, so what's out there and what looks awesome and what looks like it has a huge potential. And software sales is where my research kind of pushed me. Like, this is the way to go. This is the future. And there's so much opportunity. And how do I get in the door? How do I figure out where to start with starting a software career?
Okay. So you knew, you've worked in retail, you've done some outside sales, you knew you wanted to be in sales, and then you came to software sales. And where does pre-hired fit into all this? What made you get interested in what we were doing, and even what made you pull the trigger and decide I need to do this for myself?
So I did have a couple contacts in the software industry, and that's part of what I said, hey, I see the life these guys are living. I see how much money they make and that kind of thing. I'm like, I got to figure out how to get to where they are. And I didn't want to just be like, hey, can you give me a job? Hey, can you this and that? I realized I don't really have a clue. Retail sales is a lot different than outside sales, which is a lot different than even inside sales and software. I didn't really even know where to begin without just harassing people. And pre-hired, the biggest thing was you can get it done in a couple weeks if you have the time, if you want to bear down and do that.
Mm-hmm.
Not only is it going to help you get that software job, but it's going to help you in every aspect, the science-based sales of everything you do. And then the money-back guarantee was a huge thing too. There's really no risk and you have nothing to lose.
Yeah.
So if you put in the effort, then it's there. It's there for the taking.
And Chris, I'm glad that you brought that up, because anyone that's watching here, if you've not talked to me or any of the team members at Pre-Hired, what Chris is saying about the money back guarantee is legit. I tell people all the time, I run sales teams the same way I run Pre-Hired, and I fight with our members and for our members. I say, if you put in the time and you follow our program and you actually try, there's no way you can't not get results. But if you are one of like the 4 or 5% of people that it's a fluke, it doesn't work out, it hardly ever happens, we will gladly give you the refund, because that almost never happens. So it's like, almost like you said, there's no risk involved, because as long as you're willing to listen, if you're not teachable, that's why we have an admissions call before we get people into the program. We want to make sure that you've got the attitude, the aptitude, and the ambition. If you check off those boxes for us, we're like, we know we can honestly put you in the program and be excited that you're there, because you're going to get results. But I tell people, if you're going to get into this program and you're not going to do any work and you're going to forget about it and not do anything we say, you will not get a refund from me at all, because salespeople get fired for not following instructions and not getting the results. So as a sales manager, I instruct people, if they do what I say and don't get results, that's my job to get the sales process right so that the sales team can get better results. But if a rogue salesperson gets instruction from me, goes out there, doesn't do what I say, and so I didn't get results, I'm like, oh, well, that's because you didn't listen to me. So now you're on probation. Now you get a chance to redeem yourself, but if you don't, you get fired. So the same thing is with us. We don't give refunds for people who don't listen to us. But if you try, and it's easy to see that because Chris knows you're integrated into our software that we give you to track the stuff you're doing. We see who's working on it and who's not. So, Chris, I just had to mention that because you brought up the guarantee. It's for real, but it's only for people who are for real too. All right, so you went through the program. You got some of the stuff that you needed. What did you think was, I guess, the most helpful thing that you got out of the program? Or just something that really comes off the top of your mind, like, oh, this is what I liked about it?
I like the organization of it, the fact that you can self-pace and do it as you need to do it. And if you need to go back over a section you don't quite understand it that well, then boom, you can go back over it tomorrow or whatever. And I plan to, I did just get the job, but I'm going to need this, especially over the next couple months, to grow in my role and to be successful. Like, the journey just began, honestly. So I strongly believe that everything I learned in the course is going to be applicable and going to help me. Not only, my saying is, I didn't come here to bunt. I'm an old baseball player. So, I got the job, but I'm not just happy to be here. I want that next level. And that's what you guys talk about a lot is, you're going to start as an SDR or whatever entry level role, but you don't plan on being there for 3 years. And there's people that get complacent and kind of hang out there and stay there. But I'm not here for that entry level role for long term, So this is something, the lifetime guarantee, that I'm going to continue to go back to and continue to use as a reference in my library. So I'm excited about that.
Yep, it's a lifetime membership. And for anyone watching, I got to say this because it's so true. We want you guys to keep a lifetime relationship with us because we've got a whole team of recruiters who make money when you get hired through our partners in our network. So Chris already had his eye on a company. He didn't need to use that, but we do have a bunch of companies that want to work with us and hire you guys. So my team wants to be your best friends for life, because when you're like, I want the next level up and I don't think it's here at my current company, we want you to call us and LinkedIn message us so that we can say, okay, let me check your profile, make sure it's updated in our system so we can match a company to you and make an introduction. Like, we want to do that. So yeah, Chris, they don't treat you right at Avalara, sorry about that. You make sure to let us know so that we can take care of you down the road. But I'm sure it's going to be a great experience there. Last thing I want to ask you, Chris, for anyone that's been watching us for a long time, they're watching this video right now, but they're still on the fence about pre-hired. What's the last thing you want to leave them with?
Just go for it. The price tag on this, my thought is that it's probably not going to be this price for long. Like, it should cost a lot more. So if you're scared to spend that little amount, I will say that my starting pay, my expected target earnings for year one is higher than with the sporting goods store that I was managing for about 8 or 9 years before I walked away. So I'm coming in the door at a higher rate than what I walked away from building for years and years and years. And the sky's the limit here. I will say too, right before I got on this call, I was looking on one of my local news sites. So I'm in the Raleigh-Durham area. We may get Apple or Amazon here. Those are still kind of up in the air if they're going to build a campus here. But even aside from that, there's like 25,000 jobs that are in demand right now. So the industry is not going away. It's just going to grow. And you're really just kicking yourself if you're out there on some other sales jobs trying to squeeze it out and make it work. Like, you need to take the leap and take a risk. That little price tag for this course, you'll make that back up in no time. Don't even stress about it. So if you're on the fence, just do it. You'll make bigger mistakes in life if this doesn't work out for you. So my advice is go for it.
Thanks, Chris. Yeah, you're right. Well, if you don't do it, you get the refund. But if you're like 96% of the people that we accept in the program, you'll hit it. So that's perfect, Chris. Thanks for sharing your experience with everyone watching. And I'm excited to hear kind of some updates as we connect with you later on about how it's been the first several months on your new exciting step in your career.
Awesome. Thank you.